Davy. I'm awesome. Welcome to Davy's Awesome Wrestling, where I review wrestling related things, all from the perspective of a fan, not an insider. So this week we had two different events, because AEW planned it way in advance, and WWE likes to get in there and go on the same day. So we're going to do one today, one tomorrow. Today we're talking about AEW All Out 2025, live from Toronto, Ontario, Canada. Let's get into it. The opening match, Cope and Cage versus FTR. It was really good. You had two great tag teams in there, so it was going to be great. Both legendary at this point. But for a while, it was just a good tag team match until Stokely Hathaway, he's on the outside, he keeps getting involved. And out comes Beth Copeland. She came out to take care of the Stokely problem. And eventually, Adam Copeland was able to get the spear, the pin, and the win for him and Christian Cage. However, after the match, out came Nick Wayne injured, which was a distraction so that Kip Sabian and FTR could beat down Christian Cage and Adam Copeland. And during this, Kip Sabian handcuffed Adam Copeland to the rope, while FTR did a spike pile driver to Christian Cage. And then when it looked like they were coming over for Adam Copeland, Beth tried to intervene, and she ended up getting a spike pile driver of her own. So ultimately, this match, it was really good, and the story is making it clear it's not done. We're going to get more, and I'm loving that. I would give this one a 4 out of 5. Yeah! Then, Big Bill versus Eddie Kingston. Eddie Kingston getting ready to make his return. Big Bill called him out, wanted to fight him at All Out. It was okay, but there really just wasn't that much to it. Just kind of quick. Just a going through the motions match. I kind of felt like if Eddie Kingston was going to make his return, they could have done a lot better than this. And it just went how we kind of figured it was going to go. It went until Eddie Kingston got a spinning back fist onto Big Bill, got the pin and the win. You know, triumphant in his return. Then, of course, afterwards, we had Brian Keith beat up Eddie Kingston. Big Bill was going to help beat him up, but out came Hook to help Eddie Kingston, making it look like maybe we're going to get a tag team out of Eddie Kingston and Hook, which I'm not going to lie would be awesome. So that honestly boosted it up a little bit, but I wouldn't say to a 4. I'd say this match got a 3 out of 5. Yeah! Then, a tables and tacks match between MJF and Mark Briscoe. MJF challenged Mark Briscoe, said he could pick the stipulations. That's what he picked. And the tacks came out very quickly in the match. Like basically as soon as it got started, tacks all over the freaking ring. But aside from the tacks and the tables, the match itself was just very, very brutal. So brutal that MJF even resorted to biting Mark Briscoe, but little tick for tat, he bit MJF. But then how it ended was really cool, as Mark Briscoe got a froggy bow into MJF through a table while he was standing, got another froggy bow, and then just for added measure got a J Driller, the pin, the win, and Mark Briscoe wins this, and I'm really, really happy about that. Because this is a huge win for Mark Briscoe. This could elevate him to bigger singles status. And like I said, this match was so freaking brutal, I couldn't do less than a 4 out of 5. Yeah! Then a trios match of Ricochet and the Gates of Agony versus the Hurt Syndicate. It was good. A lot of the action was on the outside, which, you know, don't mind that, but I kind of feel like most of it should be in the ring. And because of that, like, things just keep going chaotic. Like, for example, when Bobby Lashley was charging one of the Gates of Agony and they threw a chair in his face. And it came down to when MVP was about to get the Playmaker onto Ricochet, but he got stopped by one of the Gates of Agony, allowing Ricochet to get the Spirit Gun, get the pin over him, and the win. Like I said, the match was good, but I honestly would not give it more than a 3 out of 5. Yeah! Then for the TBS Championship, Rio versus Mercedes Moné. I mean, it was good. I mean, of course it was going to be good. Rio's really great. Mercedes Moné is great. The only issue was, in my opinion, wasn't enough build-up, and the way it was built up, I think we all knew that Rio was not going to be the person to unseat Mercedes Moné. She's had a lot of title defenses. She's only lost one match since she's been in AEW, and even though we got Rio as the first ever AEW Women's Champion, it just really doesn't matter because they haven't been doing much with her. So it was just way too predictable. Even when Rio did some crazy cool stuff like that really gnarly half crab she got Mercedes Moné in it. But like I said, it went the way we expected it. Eventually Mercedes Moné got the Moneymaker, the pin, the win, retained her TBS Championship. Which I'm okay with, just you gotta give us that drama of this could go either way. And they didn't. So Honestly, I would only give this one another 3 out of 5. Yeah! Then a triple threat for the Unified Championship. Mascara Dorada versus Konosuke Takeshita versus Kazuchika Okada. The match was awesome. And there were a lot of crazy moments, like Dorada getting a double Hurricane Rana to both of them off the top rope, or when they did a triple German suplex. And I even like the drama and storytelling in it, as you saw throughout the match. Several times, Takeshita could have won if he had tried to pin Dorada, but he wouldn't do it, because you could see in there that Takeshita is desperate to pin Okada. And that cost him, as at some point, while giving up a chance to win the match overall, he's going back after Okada. Okada gets the Rainmaker and the pin over Takeshita and the win, retaining his Unified Championship. Which tells me that there's more going on here. I can't wait to see some more one-on-one stuff with Takeshita and Okada. It's going to be awesome. For right now, though, this match was so awesome, I would give it a 5 out of 5. Yeah! Then a coffin match between Jon Moxley and Darby Allin. It was really good. As expected, it was brutal, it was bloody. But what came as a little bit of a shock was when Darby Allin grabbed a plastic bag to get some revenge for Bryan Danielson, as he basically tried to suffocate Jon Moxley, which put him out, and he was about to get the win by getting him in the coffin. But then we got the return of Pac, who's back from injury, who's cut his hair, and I'm not gonna lie, looks a little bit more like a gargoyle that way. But Pac took him out by doing a crucifix powerbomb onto a coffin outside. For a little added insult, he put Darby Allin in his signature body bags, threw him in the casket, and all Jon Moxley had to do was kick it closed, making Jon Moxley the winner. Honestly, this match was so awesome, so close, and so much drama. Again, I could not do less than a 5 out of 5. Yeah! Then a 4-way for the Women's World Championship. The Toxic Spider Tekla versus Chris Statlander versus Jamie Hayter versus Timeless Toni Storm. It was awesome. Chaotic, but in the good way. As I talk about it all the time, there's the good chaos and a bad chaos. Bad chaos is you're having trouble following it because so much is going on. Good chaos is it's so chaotic you know you can't look away. And I will say, the one who was basically the star of this match was Tekla. She was the one that was getting the most offense. She was the one that was doing the most crazy things, like when she did a double tarantula. But just because you're the star doesn't mean you're always the winner. It actually came down to Chris Statlander getting her seatbelt roll-up pin onto the champion, Timeless Toni Storm, to get the pin, the win, and Chris Statlander is finally the AEW Women's World Champion. And I couldn't be happier about that. That is freaking awesome. She has been the TBS champion. She has been in AEW since pretty much day one. It's about time. I really don't feel like there was anybody better to unseat Timeless Toni Storm. I wouldn't say this match was quite good enough to get to a 5, but easily a 4 out of 5. Yeah! Then, another 4-way, this time a tag team 4-way, and also a ladder match for the AEW Tag Team Championships. The Young Bucks versus Don Callis family's Josh Alexander and Hechicero versus Jet Speed versus the champions, Brodito. The match itself was okay. Because where I talked about good chaos, bad chaos, this was the exact opposite of the other one. It was the bad chaos. It was the chaos that there was so much going on, it was a little hard to follow. Of course, there was the brutal moments like the slamming onto bridge ladders, which at this point is kind of standard in a ladder match. But I would also say I didn't like the build-up. There wasn't really much of it. It's kind of giving me the vibes of what WWE's been doing a lot lately. Like, let's not actually do anything with our tag teams, get them in a rivalry. Let's just take them all and put them in a freaking ladder match. That's cool, but it's better when there's a story going on there. And I feel Brodito needs that if they're going to be like a legitimized tag team. They need some stories, some rivalries. But the match itself was just that. It was chaotic and a little hard to follow until Bandito got up there, got the belts, and the win for him and Brody King. Brodito. What was most interesting about this, though, was after the match. After the match, we got the return of Jack Perry, who apparently is no longer aligned with the Young Bucks because he came out to attack the Young Bucks. But while they eventually got the upper hand because there's 2 against 1, The lights went out and we found that Jack Perry has reunited with Luchasaurus, who is not going by Killswitch anymore, which is better. So now we got Jungle Boy and his pet dinosaur back, I guess. I don't know. Either way, it's really cool. I'm glad that Jack Perry is back. I like that he's reunited with Luchasaurus. That bumped this from being just a 3 to just enough to be a 4 out of 5. Yeah! Then real quick, we went backstage and we saw the Death Riders with Darby Allin in the coffin and Jon Moxley telling everybody to leave. He's going to send a message to Darby Allin. But it didn't work out because Darby Allin woke up and hit Jon Moxley with a pipe, put him in a body bag, and lit the body bag on fire. So I guess this is going to get even more gruesome. Then the main event for the AEW World Championship. TNT Champion Kyle Fletcher versus Hangman Adam Page. The stipulation is Page said that he wanted Kyle Fletcher to do this all on his own. He had to sign a contract stating that if there was any outside interference, not only would he be disqualified, but he would be stripped of the TNT Championship. I will say, it was awesome. Very hard-hitting. Lots of cringe moments like Kyle Fletcher doing a brainbuster to Adam Page outside through the timekeeper's table. But again, little tick for tat. Hangman Page got the Deadeye off the apron onto the table onto Kyle Fletcher. It was later followed by a Deadeye off the top rope, followed by a buckshot lariat, allowing Hangman Page to get the pin, the win, and he is still the AEW Men's World Champion. Like I said, it was an awesome match. It was awesome that they kept the Don Callis family out of it. I have a tiny little issue with it that I'll get to in a minute, but the issue itself, not enough for me not to give it another 5 out of 5. Yeah! So AEW All Out 2025 was awesome. It was really good. My only real issue with the entire event overall was some of it wasn't that exciting as far as build-up wise. Like the TBS Championship, Riho versus Mercedes Moné. It was too predictable. We knew Riho was not leaving the TBS champion. The tag team ladder match, it could have gone anyway, but it was just kind of so. But at least they used that as a way to bring back Jack Perry. The Big Bill versus Eddie Kingston, I would honestly say, was my least favorite of the night, just because, again, not only was there not a lot of build-up, not only was the rivalry kind of so what, the match itself, to me, just seemed like something that would have been on a weekly show, not on a pay-per-view. The Unified Championship match, where it was really awesome to put in Mascara Dorada, was kind of pointless. I don't think anybody expected that he had even a shot at walking away with the Unified Championship, but at least they're building up Konosuke Takeshita versus Kazuchika Okada. I can't wait to see them have a series of matches. It's going to be awesome. The world title, my only little issue with it was with Kyle Fletcher being the TNT champion, not to mention just how much he's been built up. We definitely believe that he could be a world champion someday, but we knew today was not going to be that day. Honestly, if they wanted to add some drama, I think they should have done title for title. Because honestly, I think it's time that somebody held the TNT and World Championship. But even that issue I had of it being predictable didn't take away from how awesome the match itself was. The Women's World Championship, I'm so excited that Kris Statlander is the world champion now. She's been there long enough, she's been popular enough, it's time. But now, where do we go from here? Time will tell. I would say, honestly, in my opinion, the match of the night, though, was the Unified Championship match. That one was just freaking awesome. The event overall had a few 3s, had a few 4s, but had a few 5s. And I will say, I'm glad that this year they did All Out about a month after All In. Instead of previous couple of years, they did it like a week later, which is just not enough time right after a big show to get us ready for another big show. So I'm glad they put some space in it. It was better, so it could be built up more. But would I give it a 5, even with all the awesome matches? No. I would say it was really, really good, but didn't quite earn a 5. But easily, I would give this a 4 out of 5. So there you have it. That's my wrestling video today. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And if you did, make sure to hit like, hit subscribe, hit the little bell so you get notifications when I post the videos. And leave a comment I can respond to in my next comment corner. Tell me what you thought of AEW All Out 2025. Love you guys.